Welcome back to This is Live, a Sunday talk show here on the Arise News channel. Still with me today, I have Professor David Awurawo, Professor of International Relations and Strategic Studies at the University of Lagos, and Jide Ologun, legal practitioner and national development advocate. Now to our second guest of the day. A faction of the Pan-Yoruba socio-political organization, Afenifere, has reiterated the call for the formation of state police, an overhaul of Nigeria's security network to ensure optimal security for the citizenry. The group's position was made known at a caucus meeting convened at the residence of its national leader, Reuben Fashoranti. It emphasized the need to include a modern technology in the war against banditry and terrorism. In another development, the Pa Ayo Adebanjo-led faction of Afenifere this week appointed lawyer and human rights activist Dele Farutimi as its organizing secretary. Meanwhile, leaders of Pan-Yoruba groups representing artisans, workers, students, community-based groups, traders, professionals, and self-determination groups have jointly expressed their opposition against a perceived move to introduce Sharia law in Yoruba land. The Yoruba groups raised the alarm over what they described as a conscious plot to destabilize Yoruba land through an organized sponsorship of divisive and retrogressive proposals that will ultimately cause unrest in the Southwest. This was contained in a statement by the leaders of 29 pan-Yoruba groups, including the Alliance for Yoruba Democratic Movements, Odua Nationalist Coalition, Southwest Professional Forum, and Federation for Yoruba Consciousness and Culture. The leaders of the groups noted that Islam had promoted education, health, and welfare in Yoruba land since the 14th century, but expressed plans to oppose the imposition of Sharia by a religious fringe on the multi-religious region. For more on the significance of all that by several Yoruba groups on national and regional matters, I'm now being joined by Oba Oladipo Olaitan, who is Deputy National Leader of Afenifere. Thank you for joining us, Your Royal Highness. Welcome to This is Live, the Sunday talk show. Hello, Kabiyesi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Dr. Abati.
Yes, well, thank you very much
It's nice being with you.
Thank you.
On this day. Thank you so much.
Okay, Your Royal Highness, let's start with something. Is Afenifere a socio-political cultural group or a political party? Because just this week, Akin Osuntokun, Chief Akin Osuntokun, was saying that Afenifere is a political party. Some other people will say, no, it's not a political party. It's a socio-political, socio-cultural organization. What exactly is the ideology of Afenifere? And I ask that advisedly, and I will explain why after your response.
It's very simple. You said, what's the ideology of Afenifere? The ideology of Afenifere is Afenifere, welfare of the people, life more abundant. That's the ideology.
But is it a political party?
It's a social political party, yes.
Okay. So, well, this week, there's been some confusion. We had the Pa Adebanjo faction. You chaired the meeting of that faction at Sonya Ugbo. And then we had another meeting.
Yes, I did.
There was another meeting, the Pa Fashoranti faction. Now, one group, Afenifere, saying two different things to the public. Take, for example, the issue of state police. The Fashoranti faction, through Jare Ajayi, who is the secretary of that faction, was saying that, look, Afenifere is interested in the Amotekun Corps, building up the Western security network and for it to collaborate with other agencies. Now, categorically, the Adebanjo faction, at the meeting you chaired, said you are interested in state police and that a unitary police is not good for Nigeria. Now, very confusing. Both statements coming from the same banner, Afenifere. Can you please explain this confusion that we keep getting from Afenifere?
I think you got it. I think you got it wrong, Dr. Abete. I think you got it wrong.
Okay.
We are saying that we want state police. It is the personnel of state police that we're talking about. We are saying we can use the Amotekun, now transform the Amotekun to be the state police. We're all talking about this. We're talking about state police. But we're saying the personnel could be the Amotekun that is in place now. That's what we are saying.
Okay, so both factions are saying the same thing.
We are saying the same thing. Let me say this. I don't even agree with you when you say both factions. We try as much as possible to make this clear to people who are not within. And it's not, we're not terribly worried about this. The more you come nearer to us, the more you learn to know exactly what you're doing. Afenifere is one and indivisible one. We have a big white elephant that is in the room. And it is up to us to manage that big white elephant. And we're doing it, and by the grace of God, we shall succeed. When people say there are different factions of Afenifere, I say, what exactly do you mean? Afenifere, we're together, we've always been together. There could be some tendencies within. But I say this, as a family man, right? You have 4 kids in the house, and son decides to go to Anglican church. The other 2 decides to go to Catholic church. Do you say you have factions in the house? Just because 2 are going to Anglican church and 2 are going to Roman Catholic church. Do you call them factions in the house? Certainly not. Same family. You can decide, some can decide to be Roman Catholic, some can decide to be Pentecostal. But that doesn't make them factions. They're still the same family, one family.
Okay, well, let me just...
That is how it is.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, why I say, the body is factionalized is that the Pafashonoti wing of Afenifere, we seem to be pro-Tinubu. They seem to have taken the position that, a Yoruba man is there. Even when they say, Nigeria should be restructured, they seem to be supportive of the efforts being made by the Tinubu administration. But the Adebanjo faction is saying that, look, we still want restructuring. What restructuring exactly is that faction looking for? Because that's another area of confusion.
I keep wondering why you say faction. No.
Okay, maybe I should use the word wing.
We are always talking about
tendency.
restructuring.
Okay.
No. I don't mind you using tendency, but I object to you saying wing.
Okay.
You can say tendency, yes, but I object to you saying wing. We are talking about restructuring. Go to any Afenifere man, first thing he will talk to you about is restructuring, because that is our exactitude. That talks to the root of what we stand for. This country needs to be restructured. And any progressive Nigeria, we even agree with that. We have a restructuring. Any Afenifere man you meet anywhere, we talk to you about restructuring. How you define restructuring may be different, depending how you speak English. English language is not a language. So you may be using this English, but the same thing is restructuring. I don't know where you get your wings. I don't know where you get your factions. I just told you, a family man has 4 kids in the house. 2 decides to be Roman Catholic adherents. The other wants to be Pentecostal. Does that make them factions? Certainly not.
Okay.
Certainly not.
In the communique that was
Certainly not.
issued at the meeting you chaired at
Yes.
Isonyagbo, 3 major issues there. Security,
Yes.
state police, and then the appointment of Dele Farutimi as a national organizing secretary. Now, some members of Afenifere have said, well, they are not aware of that appointment. Specifically, Senator Femi Okurumu had said so. I think one other person said, well, he's aware of it, but he was not at that meeting. If you could just explain what transpired at that meeting and the significance of those three decisions.
Dr. Abati, I'm going to ask you, if somebody says to you that is not aware that Dr. Abati heads conducted this day show on Sunday, 2nd of February, what does that mean to you? Is that I didn't watch it? Is that I listened to the broadcast or something? It doesn't really matter. What matters is, was that decision taken? Yes, it was taken. But if somebody maybe didn't come to the meeting, if he didn't come to the meeting, we wouldn't know what happened there. And like you said, one particular person you mentioned didn't attend the meeting, and so possibly didn't know about it. And that's all. But does that vitiate? Does that make that decision invalid? Certainly not. Certainly not.
Yeah, but I would like you to comment. I would like you to comment on state police. I mean, what does Afenifere?
Oh, sure.
Does Afenifere? Does the body have like a plan, like proposals to government? It's not enough to just say state police. We don't want unitary police. What structure does Afenifere have in mind? And then when Afenifere says Nnamdi Kanu,
proposals.
Okay, go ahead, sir. You can go ahead.
We wrote proposals, and when this was requested from us by the National Assembly, we wrote proposals. I was the chairman of that committee that wrote the proposals, and we sent the proposals to the National Assembly. Yes, we did. Afenifere did. I chaired that committee.
Okay. How about Nnamdi Kanu? You said Nnamdi Kanu is a political detainee and that he should be released in the spirit of unity and reconciliation. Even when you know that since the time of President Buhari has been saying this matter is in court. Let the judges, let the courts decide.
Well, you know, I know Kanu has been there for so long. He's been to several courts on several occasions. They can't even agree on what to do. And between me and you, Dr. Abati, you're a lawyer. Justice delayed is justice denied. This man has been taken to various courts. They don't even know which charges to give him anymore. This man was abducted out of this country. The manner of abduction was in itself illegal. It's a shame. It's a shame that this country will be involved in a thing like that. But they did it. Okay, now you took that gentleman to court, and he's been there for years. If you want to take him through justice, dispense justice with him, and then that's it. If you're going to jail him, jail him. If you're not going to jail him, let him go. What's the point of just keeping somebody there? And all of us, Nigerians, should be ashamed that we are being linked to this. In the turn, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame that this is what we turned this country to be. A Nigerian, a citizen, and you treat him like this in his own country. It's a shame. All progressive Nigerians should stand up and say this should stop. This shenanigans should stop. How long should we continue with this? If this man has committed any offense, sentence him. That's it. But if he hasn't, let him go. What is happening is wrong. It's wrong. To any right-thinking person, it is wrong. And Afenifere will continue to fight for whoever in such a position. That is what we are known for. We'll fight against any injustice from wherever it is coming from. We'll fight against it. And Nnamdi Kanu is just there. We've been doing this. We've been doing this for years. We know it's a template. I don't want to start repeating over and over what we do. A fellow of mine, one of my friends came on the television and talked about Shugaba to you. I was personally involved. I was the special advisor to Lagos State Governor. then when this matter happened. And I was the person going around all over, putting things together for Sugar Bar before it was finally released. Afenifere, he was not a member of our party. No. But look, we won't let this happen. And exactly what is happening now. We stood up for Dele. We stood up for him. Dele is Àjànàkú kọjá olórí nǹkan fìrí tó bá rí ni kó sọ. That's Dele Farutimi. Àjànàkú kọjá olórí nǹkan fìrí tó bá rí ni kó sọ. Whether Dele Farutimi is in Afenifere or any party, anywhere it could be in Nigeria, is a force to be reckoned with. He's made it. There's nothing anybody can do about it. But we are lucky, we are grateful that he's one of us. And we will stand with him through thick and thin. You haven't seen anything. We will stand by him. We stand for anybody that runs. You want to run foul them, run short them, then we say no. We won't accept that. That's it. So, Nnamdi Kanu, we stand by him. He must be released. He must be released.
Okay.
And we don't want to start. Oh, for Christ's sake. Stop all this, for Christ's sake. One is getting it. Please, Dr. Abati, go on.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, on the question of state police, you have sent proposals to the National Assembly.
Yes.
Have you also made attempts to
Yes,
approach President Tinubu or to send a formal opinion to him on the question of Nnamdi Kanu?
No, we didn't go that far. But our position on it is known. We didn't go that far. Okay. We didn't go as much as writing letters. No, we didn't.
Okay, because I just assume that it's not every communique that is published that the president will get a chance to read. Maybe you need that follow-up effort.
If he doesn't read anything about Nnamdi Kanu, then he must find something good to read.
Anyway.
If he didn't read it and his people around him won't talk to him about it, I don't know what job they are doing.
Anyway, Your Highness, let's talk about this issue of Sharia in the Western region. Now, there are persons in some of the states that are saying, well, Sharia has been in Yoruba land since the 14th century. And in any case, it's a personal orthodoxy. It's not something that is compulsory for everybody. It's not a legal orthodoxy. So if there are some people who say, well, we want to be governed by the Sharia orthodoxy, shouldn't they be allowed? They have the freedom of choice, freedom of faith. But most Yoruba groups, a number of groups are now saying, no, there must be no Sharia in the southwest of Nigeria. I said, Afenifere discussed this. If not, what's your opinion?
Dr. Abati, has anybody in Southwest requested for Sharia? Because that's where to start.
Well, the story
This is
in
my
the
house.
The story is in the papers.
And then you,
that some Islamic groups
No.
in the Southwest want the Sharia.
Requested for Sharia?
The story is in the papers.
Requested for Sharia. Look, some groups, notable groups in Southwest requested for Sharia.
Yes.
Now look.
That's why some other groups are
We
saying...
all know what is happening, Dr. Abati. Dr. Abati. Dr. Abati. We know what is happening, and we are ready for it. We know 27 to 2027 is at the corner, and we know what's happening, and we're ready for it. Afenifere is 72 years old. There's no political organization that is as old as Afenifere in this country. So we understand the terrain. We know the terrain. We know the terrain. When you start doing these things, we know what you want to do, and we get ready for you. We're not talking about Sharia. We're talking about 2027. We know it. You cannot destabilize our home under one certain pretext and want us to stand back and watch you doing it. We will not allow it. If you intend to destabilize Saturday, we say, no, you can't do it. You can't come to another man's home and tell him how to worship. You cannot go to another. I mean, look, there's Akwa Ibom. They do Christmas carol every year. You see them, the governors, everybody starts singing, and then you go to that place and you want to say you want to do Sharia. And you want to undo. You say, yeah, they say, yes, they can film. No. They won't try. Nobody will allow it. This is our home, and this is what we do here. We are the most understanding tribe in nation. I would say nation, Nigeria, yes. Religious tolerance is everybody pride out for it. And we are not going to let somebody derive off of that. We know what is happening in other parts of the country because of religion. We are not that in this part of the country. And we are not going to allow anybody to introduce it to us. We will not. It's as simple as that.
Okay, finally, Your Highness, before I let you go, is there any hope of reconciliation among the various tendencies in Afenifere, so that people who read these reports from Afenifere will not be confused? There will be greater clarity. Is there any hope that the various stakeholders would come together one day and speak with one voice?
Oh, family business. We talk every day. Yes, we talk every day. But I know, I tell Dr. Abati, I'll let you know what is happening. There's a Machiavellian politician in Nigeria. Dr. Abati, you're a politician, I know you too. You must know. Wait a minute, Dr. Abati. There's a Machiavellian politician in Nigeria. You're either with him or you're out of the scene. You either believe in him, you either toe his line of thought, you either believe in him or you're out of the system. Well, there's always Obamewa, Igbamewa. Whatever is happening, we're there. We can understand this thing, and that's it.
Okay. Before we wrap up, who is that Machiavellian politician?
Yes, go ahead.
Who is that Machiavellian politician? If you could just reveal his
identity. If anybody has asked me that question, I will readily answer it. But Dr. Abati, I won't.
No, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Oh well, okay. I will describe it for him so that you can properly. If I mention names, nobody has done a registered name in Nigeria, so I will not mention name. I will do description so that you can get it better. This Machiavellian has his hands in all the political parties in Nigeria. His attempt is to decide what is happening in all these political parties, and he's doing it. He's doing it. We are seeing it. We know it. We understand it. Where is AD now? I was the leader of AD in the House of Reps. Where is AD now? We had SDP. SDP is almost dying. Where is it now? Where is we had PAC? Where is it? Where are they? This Machiavellian is roaming. He's a white elephant in the shop. It's a big white elephant. But we say this, Yoruba say this. Obamewa, Igbamewa. Nobody rules this life forever. There's always time for everything. It's only a phase, and it will pass.
Okay.
We're waiting. Afenifere is one indivisible one. We talk to ourselves, we understand ourselves, and let Nigerians believe in it that we are one. That's it.
Okay. I suspect the Machiavellian politician you are referring to is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, since you linked him with the...
That's your guess. That's your guess.
I hope my guess is correct.
Didn't I say you're a politician?
Well, we leave the guess.
Didn't I say you're a politician?
For other people to decide.
Yes, they are blowing in the air, blowing in the air.
Yes.
And those who are not politicians will learn with time, if they don't know yet.
Anyway, on that note, I'd like to thank you very much.
It's nice being with you.
Your Highness, I'd like to thank you very much for joining us on This Day Live, the Sunday Talk Show.
You're
as we now
wonderful.
take
Thank you, sir.
another break.